Last night, I was on the phone with my mom and my dad for so long, and as they heard me repeatedly affirm with confidence that indeed there is a God, and He is a mighty deliverer and defender to them that diligently seek Him, my parents couldn't help but gush with excitement about my spiritual growth. And then I heard my father say to me, "My daughter, I am so proud of you. Now that you have been saved, you can then proceed to save others and even your siblings." As flattering as that statement was, I knew in that moment that I needed to pause, correct an impression, and then proceed to thank he and my mom. The impression is that, judging from my experience, salvation or having the God consciousness trickles down to self. You have to do it yourself. It's a DIY type of situation. How do I know this? Because that is my testimony. Now, before I proceed, listen to why I had to thank my dad and mom. I thank them with my whole heart for doing their best to embed in me the right foundation upon which I have been surviving and thriving in this battlefield called life. What is that foundation? Godliness. From infancy, I've always heard and read and talked about God. And that God is a rock upon which I stand and will continue to stand until my time here is over. Consider a house project, for instance. When the engineers are building, they dig deep into the soil and deposit all kinds of materials: sand, cement, rocks, pillars, and then they cover it up. Then they proceed to build a structure on top of what is beneath. They could build something long, something large, something. But at the end of the day, it is what is inside that sustains the outside. After I talked with my mom and my dad, and I proceeded to call my daughter, Melanie Arena, who is currently in recovery, having survived 3 major brain tumor surgeries, I found myself again reiterating the efficacy of godliness. And then I said to Mel, the Bible is right when it says, train up a child the way he should grow, that when he or she is older, he or she will not depart from it. That is my testimony. I have to say that all my life, I've had to face all kinds of battles, all kinds of chaos, trials, tribulations, hazards. And only just a few weeks ago, I survived another one, a major tragedy that was projected my way to sink me. And now as I make this video, because the things that God has done for me, I cannot talk about in hushed tones. It was not luck that brought me this far. It was God's grace. And what better way to bask in His grace rather than to laud it? When that tragedy came my way, admittedly, I was confused, I was lost, I was sinking. But then I remembered who I am. I remember the solid foundation that I carry within me. And then I tuned into that source and I began to pray. And it was not a one-time prayer. I made it a habit. In the morning, afternoon, night, I random, eyes shut, eyes open, meditating, speaking in tongues even, asking, searching the heavenlies and asking my Father, what's going on? Tell me what to do. Save me. I don't understand. And God came through for me with answers. How did He do that? By sharpening my intuition, helping me connect dots revealing to me the hidden things, and filling me with so much wisdom with which to make the right decisions and embark on the right actions. That is the power of God. Lady and gentleman listening to me now, there are all kinds of powers on earth. It's not only God's power that is a power, but I tell you, beyond all forms of doubt, that God's power is the most realistic, the most dependable. If I didn't know God, if I didn't have the foundation of God within me, chances are in my confusion and anxiety, I would have either sunk into the pit that the enemy dug for me, or I would have gone seeking for help from sources that are unreal and destructive. Because, hello, I have come to know that the gift of the devil is bring a head and take a head. Teach your child to know God. Because I know that the concept of God has been trivialized in our society today, with many scary, cringing, thought-provoking stories that we have heard that people have done, even from men and women that occupy sensitive leadership positions in the God industry or in the religious industry. Don't let those stories sway you. There's still a God, and He's not in the sky. He's within you, exists as you, through you, manifest as you. He's never far. If only you will seek Him. If only you will look in His direction. God is not a busybody. He doesn't go about looking for who to help. You have to call Him in, invite Him in. Some of us out there use God like a convenient tool. It's only when you're drowning that you remember, there's even a thing called God. God, please, God, please, God, please help me, help me. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. If you want God to work for you, you have to have a relationship with Him. That's why you hear people severally say, give your life to Christ. It means you have to align with God consciousness, become His and He yours, so that He will watch after you, care for you, lead you, support you, provide you, protect you, renew you, restore you, vindicate you, fight for you. Yeah, you will enjoy the benefits of God if you're His. Admittedly, although I had the foundation of God growing up, I lost track somewhere along the line. What with the naivety that comes with teenagehood, adolescence, and even young adult life, and even as I navigated my path in the entertainment industry, as corrupt as it gets in there, admittedly, I lost track for a hot minute. But when the kingdom of darkness came for my soul, I knew that only God can save me. And time again, He has saved me. If you're watching me now and you're a parent, while you work hard on giving your child the excellent education, embed in him or her the core integrities and core values, try your best to make him or her a positive energy enthusiast and all the good things that a child ought to be to have a good life, put godliness in there. Because I'm telling you, nature abhors vacuum. If you let your child grow with a void, the world will fill that void in. And what they will fill it with will wreck your child. Teach your child to pray. Prayer is steady, definite, meditative thinking. About the same way you don't need any kind of protocol to call your friend or your colleague and say, what's up? That's the same way there's no protocol. Prayer, the efficacy of prayer does not lie in how long a time you pray or the intensity of how much you vibrate. Just pray. Tell your Father, invite Him in. And then, above all things, exude good seeds. Seeds of kindness, love, joy. Because if you sow and harbor and put out bad energies into the world, into the society, seeds of hate, anger, strife, jealousy, malice, it will come back and burn you down. I could go on and on and on. But I'm glad that I finally have the confidence to turn on my camera and tell you that there is a God. And I challenge you to grow and go with God. Because you can never fail with God. You can never. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. My name is still Chacha, and I love you. Thank you for watching.